Welcome to Watanabe Electrics. Today's topic is applications of signal converter. We have four topics: location, main function, type of input, and application image. First, location. Just open the door of control panel of each machine or equipment. Signal converter is inside of control panel. Wiring is like this. And there are many signal converter inside. Even the other maker's converter, we can offer the one of same spec for replacement. Our lineup can cover most of the other maker's converter. Chapter 2. Main function of signal converter. There are many kinds of sensors in the world, but some of these signal is just small and weak or not much for the device. It needs to change into the suitable signal for each situation. Signal from sensors is a small voltage or pulse or like that, so sometimes cannot connect to the device directly. So this one can convert into suitable signal like a 1.5 volt DC for each device. Convert sensor signal into suitable signal like 420 mA for transferring. Signal from sensor is not stable and also very weak against the effect of external noise. It's better to convert into, for example, 420 mA very stable signal to transfer to the far place. Number 2, isolation. Because of external noise or some other reasons, sometimes sensor will be broken. And also sensor and the devices connected directly. Also the devices can be broken. To prevent like this case, we suggest to put the isolator like this picture. This can isolate the sensor and the devices electrically. You can save your devices from harmful noise. Number 3, power supply for sensor. When you install sensor outside of the building, sometimes it's hard to get the power supply there. So please put the distributor. This one can give a DC 24 volt power supply to sensor. Prevent current lapse from ground. Current lapse from ground may occur when the two devices connected in series and they take same signal from sensor. And then the minus side of two devices is grounded to earth. If current lapse may occur, the signal cannot flow to one device because of this ground lapse. Current lapse can be prevented by put isolator like this picture. This can separate the circuit to eliminate series connection. Clarification of responsibility borderline. One system circuit have several kinds of instruments of each makers. Isolator can be electrically separate the circuit, so when the problem occurred, this can make it easy to find the cause point. You will know how to solve the problem in shortly. Number 6, increase of allowable load resistance. If the load resistance of sensor is small, isolator can increase the load resistance. It makes it possible to connect to additional device. You see this picture. This sensor's load resistance is 300 ohm only, and these two devices need 250 and 250, total 500 ohm. Please put isolator like this way. So this isolator's load resistance is 750 and can connect these two devices without any problem. Chapter 3, type of input signal. I will introduce the kind of sensors for each input type. For DC converter, you can connect to displacement sensor, differential transformer, linear encoder, pressure sensor, speed sensor, also acceleration sensor. For AC converter, you can connect to CT and PT. And for temperature converter, you can connect to thermocouple and RTD. For load cell converter, you can connect to load cell and strain gauge. And the potentiometer converter, you can connect to potentiometer. Also have a taco generator converter. For pulse converter, you can connect such as like rotary encoder, magnetic speed sensor, photoelectric sensor, flow meter. Chapter 4, application image. This is an example of tire testing system. They monitoring rotation by rotary encoder and the temperature by thermocouple. Signal from rotary encoder is a pulse, and thermocouple signal also can convert to 420 to transfer to PLC, and the PLC will do some adjustment to this system and at the same time record it in the PC. This is an example of a press machine and a molding machine. They are monitoring load and pressure by load cell. But the signal from load cell is very weak like this, and they need to convert signal into stable signal like 420 to transfer very far place, or suitable signal like 1.5 volt to connect to the device. This is an example of a chemical industry temperature control. This leakage in the tank is monitored by two thermocouple here. This system is monitoring the difference of temperature, upper area and bottom area. This signal can be converted to analog signal, and this one can calculate that difference and send that information to controller, and the controller will try to adjust this mixing speed. This is an example of plating process vibration management. So each of these have a vibration sensor here, but signal from vibration sensor is a plus minus 2 volt, very weak to send the very far place, especially this customer need to send this signal over 30 meters. To prevent the noise and to keep the accuracy, it should convert into 420 milliampere. And this plating system try to adjust the conveyor speed to reduce the vibration to keep good quality. Today's introduction is just only a part of our applications. If you need, please give us information. We will arrange the special application for each of your production. Thank you for listening. Watanabe Electric.